All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Heath City Council Meeting, the regular meeting Tuesday, January 13th, 2026 at 6:30 p.m. If you'd all rise for the invocation and pledge of allegiance, please.
Almighty God, as our city council gathers, we seek your divine guidance and wisdom. May this opening prayer set the tone for a productive and harmonious discussion. Let your presence inspire our leaders to make decisions that benefit our community and promote unity. And in Proverbs 2.6, they said, "For the Lord gives wisdom, from his mouth come knowledge and understanding." And may you please bless the Indiana Hoosiers so they can beat the brakes off the Miami Hurricanes. In the holy name of your Son, Jesus Christ, we pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible. And God bless Texas.
All right. Thank you, Councilman Dodson. I heard that you warmed the bench at that college.
There are multiple splinters still in place. Mr. Mayor.
All right.
I appreciate that. Let it be known that in the only year that we could have beat Michigan on a down and out, I took the in, and Anthony Carter took the out, and he caught an 85-yard bomb over me.
There you go. Be proud.
Absolutely.
Be proud.
I suffered in humility.
All right. All right, moving into agenda item number 2. This is our public comments. So, Mr. Alexander.
Thank you, Mayor, City Council members. We do have one person here to speak, Lee Gilbert.
All right. Mr. Gilbert, if you'd like to take the lectern.
Like me at the podium.
Yes, sir. Just state your name and your address.
Yes, Lee Gilbert, 109 Victoria Place, Heath, Texas. So I've had y'all on my agenda since my wife and I returned to Heath in November. And this happened to be the date, and the date happens to align with the stars because I have a couple of things to talk about. One important, and I'll close with that. Today I went to the Rockwall County Commissioners Court, looked on the agenda. I attended 200 meetings. I don't have to anymore, but I did this one because one of the agenda items, number 5, was a final vote to allocate $2 million towards a road project here in Heath. And when I was on the Commissioners Court, I visited with Aretha, and we settled on a project. 3 years later, it has come before the Commissioners Court, and they voted 5-0 to pass it. Road improvements to Terry Lane and a sidewalk, not a trail, a sidewalk from Smurl to Terry Park. And my vision would be that sidewalk will one day connect every residential area in the city of Heath to be able to get from their home to the park. That was a classic. The second thing is an agenda item you have tonight, and Jenny Jackson, I met her about 5 or 6 years ago with Jenny Seeley, and met with her many times to support her in a dream, to create a park, all-access park at Terry Park, called Marcia's Happy Haven. I was privileged to go to San Antonio to look at the model, which was Morgan's Wonderland. If you've never been there and you go to San Antonio, you need to go. Over 1 million people, 35, 40-acre park, designed for any and everyone, accessible, wheelchair, wherever. A wonderful inspiration. Jenny's dream was not that exact park, but a park like that. And it's on your agenda tonight. So this is 6-7 years it's been there. Thank you for supporting it, and I hope we go forward with it. Many of us in the community made a small contribution. I understand there are other contributors, so I'm looking forward to that. So the reason I'm here tonight, though, is to simply say thank you to this council, to you, Mr. Mayor, and to all of our council people. I count 8 of you, counting Norma up there. It's 6 of you I hold as personal friends. No slight to Ryan or Michelle. I just haven't gotten to know you, but I know all the rest of you. You know, when we returned in November, and we're not here a lot anymore, and some of you know that, but when we returned home in November, I'd drive by at nights when I thought I was in Midland, Texas. I looked back here and thought, are we drilling for oil? Right? That's what a
If
rig
that's what
looks
we
like.
hit,
Yeah.
we've got a new funding model for water.
So that is one of many projects that's going to take Heath into the future. I want to thank you all for coming to the middle of the road and working together to make progress, not impede what's going on here. And I think we'll have a community that we're going to continue to love into the future. So thank you all.
Thank you, Mr. Gilbert. What a great commissioner and a great citizen, and thank you for all your inspiration and your kindness. And we're very appreciative of everything you've done. So thank you for that. If there are no others for public comment, Mr. Alexander?
No others, Mr. Mayor.
Very well. We'll move into our agenda item number 3. This is our city manager and council comments. Mr. Alexander?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just have one comment to make this evening. We're certainly excited to report to you that the city is moving to a new utility billing and payment services platform beginning this Thursday, January 15th. This upgrade is one of the final steps to the city modernizing its enterprise software package. Customers who pay by automatic credit card draft will need to register a new account in the new customer portal starting January 15th and before the February 10th due date of their utility bill. Customers who pay through online banking will need to update their utility account number before February 10th as they make their payments through their bank. And no changes are needed for customers who pay by automatic draft, bank draft, or in person. All of the details are available on the city's website under News and will be included as an insert in this month's utility bill. This information has been shared via email and social media. We encourage everyone to watch for more announcements on Thursday. City staff is working to contact customers who pay by credit card draft and providing a new link through TextMyGov and email. Customer service staff, as always, will be happy to answer any questions as we go through this process, and we'll make ourselves available to making this transition as easy as possible. We encourage people to call 972-771-6228 and pick option 2 if they call us. But certainly, if our customers are having a problem, encourage them to call us, call me. We will be here and stand ready to help them through the process.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Alexander. At this time, council, the floor is open for any comments. Councilman Dodson?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to say a big thank you and congratulations to Brian Creed and his Public Works team for the completion of 30 projects thus far. I know that where I live in Buffalo Creek, we've been recipients of several of those repairs. We're very appreciative of that, very appreciative that the money is being spent in long overdue areas, and for the initiation of the projects that Commissioner Gilbert and other people have spoken about here tonight. So Brian, thank you and your team for that. I know it's not lost on me the hard work and effort that takes to get us to a point where we have safe roads. So thank you, sir.
Very good. Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Omby?
Mr. Mayor, earlier today, you and I had the distinct privilege of being at the McLennan Chisholm Fire Station for ribbon cutting for the Safe Haven Baby Box. I just wanted to highlight this event and thank the City of McLennan Chisholm, Mayor McNeil and Council, and the Fire Department for their installment of this Safe Haven Baby Box, which is designed to prevent illegal abandonment of newborns by raising awareness, offering a 24-hour hotline for mothers in crisis, and implementing the baby boxes as a last resort option for women who want to safely surrender their child with complete anonymity.
Very good. Thank you. And it was a very touching ceremony, and thank you for being there. I would echo everything you just said. So it's exciting to see that McLennan Chisholm took the charge in something that many of us probably hadn't even thought about. That it is a unique circumstance. It happens, and sometimes we only see it if it's in the headlines in another faraway state or somewhere else. So, very good to see that leadership by the mayor there and them doing that in McLennan Chisholm. Very well. Council, any other comments? Very well. At this time, we will move into agenda item number 4. This is our consent agenda. I believe everybody's had time to review this. 4.A, action regarding the minutes of the December 9th, 2025 regular meeting. 4.B, action regarding encore payment for park electrical services. So since everyone's had time to review that, at this time, the chair will open the floor to entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilman Moorman. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a second by Councilwoman Horn. Motion moves. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Passes unanimously. Thank you, council. Moving into our individual items for consideration, I'm going to make a little bit of a change here. We're going to move 5.C into our number 1 placeholder. This is discussion and action regarding a resolution to approve the dedication of land at Terry Park for an all abilities park and recreation facility to be named Marcia's Happy Haven. Ms. Gordon.
Yes, good evening, Mayor and Council. The item before you is a discussion and action item regarding the dedication of a little over a half an acre at Terry Park to be including an all abilities park to be named Marcia's Happy Haven. A little over 6 years ago, this concept began, as you heard a little bit earlier, from 2 residents with the idea of including a park facility within our existing park system that would be inclusive for everybody. So creating an all abilities area within Terry Park. So on your screen and within your packets, you've been provided with a couple of renderings and design concepts. So this began, again, back in January of 2019. The city engaged an architect to start the design process of this facility. So plans were designed. Those plans were submitted to the park board back in 2019. That then went to city council along with a resolution to dedicate this land, the 0.54 acres at Terry Park, to be used for this project, dependent on a couple of different conditions. That it would be a privately funded park amenity, and that those funds had to be received within 3 years or the resolution would be voided. So over those 3 years, funds were collected, and right now our fund balance is about $93,000. As you can see, the estimated cost of completing this project back in 2019 was a little over $1.1 million. So because the funds were never collected in totality, that resolution expired. That brings us to today, where there's been a renewed interest in this project from a single donor who has verbally indicated a commitment of around $1.1 million for this project. We can also look at applying for additional funding to complete other components of the park amenities through Texas Parks and Wildlife, or other means as well. And those could be for additional amenities or for our trail around the Terry Lane area as well. So we've brought this item to the park board, who approved the project as well as recommended approval of this resolution to extend essentially and rededicate the land at Terry Park for this project, with the understanding that we would receive these funds within around 6 months. So we have a few renderings, again, of the schematic design that was commissioned by the city back in 2019. You can see the project itself contains an entryway containing a set of restrooms, 2 separate play areas to be designed for 2 separate age groups. It would also include in those park and playground areas specific designed playground equipment to be used by individuals of all abilities. So children of all abilities, adults of all abilities that want to come to the playground with their children and enjoy this amenity. Again, there's another viewpoint of the proposed design and the proposed facility. There's a few different amenities, again, throughout this. You've got benches and seat walls, play areas, your 2 unique play areas, as mentioned. You've got a pour-in-place fall zone rubberized flooring, accessible play structures, and then all of these areas, again, would be fenced in with a perimeter fence to ensure safety of all of those using the facility. You've got also existing trees would be maintained, as well as the parking. And there's another layout and rendering. Again, if you're just to orient yourself, this would be on the northern section of the park, right next to one of the existing play areas. Again, another viewpoint of that, and you can see your entranceway would be the area that would also feature that set of restrooms to be used for this dedicated play area. And that's that restroom building as well. And here's a few examples of the different play structures that could be utilized. Again, these were from 2019, but this was included in that initial design concept. So really, truly a great amenity, and the fact that we have a single donor that that our resident, Ms. Jenny Seeley, has been speaking with, who has kind of verbally made a pledge of $1.1 million. That's a substantial amount for this project. So at this time, staff is recommending approval of this resolution to dedicate the 0.54 acres at Terry Park for Marcia's Happy Haven. And I'd be happy to answer any questions for you at this time.
Very good. Thank you, Ms. Gordon. I will say absolutely, you know, we sit here today and we do need to look back at the great leadership for the individuals that started working on this a number of years ago, and to the donors that donated $93,000. We thank you. And unfortunately, hit a shortfall. And because of the way, you know, ordinances are written, they have timestamps. And so as we started talking about this, and we are a premier outdoor lifestyle community, and we have this wonderful town center park that's coming in, and Miss Jenny Seeley is an unbelievable, tenacious individual that said she is not going to let this thing die on a vine, and she is a hunter. And she is relentless, and so we are so proud to have her as a resident, a longtime resident, but to be working on this and trying to see this come into fruition. We're very proud of you and appreciative of that. And council, I think this is such a unique opportunity for all of us to extend this ordinance and to accept this donation that's been verbally pledged to us. At this time, council, are there any questions for staff? Councilwoman Horn?
Well, like the mayor said, reading through my packet today and seeing that park, and it just brought tears to my eyes at how incredible this community is going to be with activities for our families and for all families like this. My questions are, do we have donors identified to cover the roughly 800,000? Are there, go ahead. Comment on that.
Yes, so we have the one donor that's verbally pledged the $1.1 million. And then at that point, once we secure that donation, we would re-engage the architect, the initial architect, to basically bring up the cost and better understand where we're at and kind of what that shortfall is, and then begin to plan on if we need additional funding, and then we would look to our existing close to 100,000 that we have, and then any additional funding.
Okay. The other question I have, this amazingly beautiful park is going to need maintenance. What is the plan for maintaining it?
Yes, so it should be inclusive of our current staffing levels. As you know, we've kind of reorganized internally and truly now have a dedicated parks department that we're working through with our Parks and Recreation manager and identifying those maintenance plans. And so these elements of this park, we would go through playground instruction and inspections, just like we do our other play facilities. We should have the manpower, but should we need additional manpower to maintain this aspect of the park, that would be brought to you in another budget season.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely.
Very good. Great question. Any other questions, council?
got a
Councilman
question.
Dodson?
Chelsea, just wondering, I would imagine that these newly built restrooms will all be ADA compliant?
Absolutely.
Okay, and
Yes.
that's factored into the budget, or it
Yes.
will be represented from the budget from the architect, right?
Yes. Yes, that's
Okay,
correct.
that's my only question. Thank you.
Yep.
Very well. Councilman Omby?
Is 6 months enough time so this doesn't die on the vine again? Is
Yes, so I spoke with Ms. Seeley, and she has indicated that that donor is ready to go, and we could probably secure the donation within the next month or so.
Thank you.
Very good. Very exciting. And there's been a lot of work being done on this for some time. Thank you.
You can tell.
Okay, very good. Any other questions?
Mr. Mayor, I'd just
Councilman
like to
Myers?
make a comment. I want to thank Jenny Seeley for this, because I knew this is, Jenny came to me back in 2019 to go help with her do this, present this before the park board and the city council. And I want to tell you, the city council back then was very reluctant about it. I could never understand, but we were persistent, and they did approve it. And even to your point on the maintenance, the way we understood it back then, and I'm sure it's going to be the same way, it was very low maintenance. Everything around it was designed for low maintenance. Basically, you're going to have to keep up with the restrooms and, like you say, do some inspections, and that would be it.
Very good. All right. Councilman Dodson?
No.
Okay. All right. Very good. If there are no other questions or discussion items for this, then we will open the floor to entertain a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the resolution for the dedication of land at Terry Park for an all-abilities park and recreational facility.
Very well.
Second.
As stated, seconded by Councilman Omby. The motion moves. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Passes unanimously. Very well. All right. Ms. Seeley, we will get this park done. Okay, very good. We are a premier outdoor lifestyle community, and that means all of our community, and we have a number of all abilities individuals that should enjoy a park. And I am very proud of things that were done by the past park board and by the past council that also worked to add some of those elements to our town center park. And so you will see that there is a wheelchair accessible swing, and some of those items are implemented, but this is truly an all abilities example within our city, and I think it's great. Moving into agenda item number 5.A, this is discussion and action to approve quotes at various locations through TIPS Purchasing Cooperative to authorize boardwalk paving to make street repairs to support the City of Heath Street Maintenance Program. Mr. Creed.
All right, thank you, Mayor and Council. As you stated, this is tips quotes for the. I apologize for my voice, guys. I think it's going away, but we're gonna make it for the City of Heath Street Maintenance Program. This request is for approval to proceed with necessary street repairs on Carolina Cherry, James Drive, Drew Lane, Kings Pass, Serenity Lane, and Woodmont Circle as part of our ongoing annual street maintenance program. The total for all these quotes tonight is $218,576.11. This proposed work addresses surface deterioration and safety concerns identified during routine inspections, as well as some of these are responses to citizen complaints where we found it was justified and we needed to do the work. These funds, repair funding for this will come out of the fiscal year 2026 citywide street improvement program, and you'll see why on this next slide. We have depleted the 2025, spent it in its entirety. So with the encumbrance of these new additions, we're actually going to be moving into the 2026 at a tune of $215,877 and pulling that down to $750, $122. The first one is Carolina Cherry. As I mentioned, these are surface deteriorations. This actually was a drainage problem that was tried at some point. Someone tried to rectify by doing some level up. Portland on top is completely deteriorated. It holds water, and it's actually become a safety hazard because of the repair. So we're going to have to do some panel change outs in this area to rectify that problem and change some grading to make the drainage work. The second one is the 200 block of James Drive. Same thing. These are just targeted repairs. There's multiple areas on James Drive. This picture just kind of shows some of the little spots you see going out there where we patch them with asphalt. That's going to be repaired in this quote. Same goes for 300 James Drive. We've got some spalling going on down in that area. That we noticed when we actually had a complaint for 200 and went out. We saw there was issues in 200 and then later in 300 and the next one you'll see. And as we got down to the corner of James, dead ends and goes into Drew. We turned up Drew and saw some fairly significant panel spalling along several areas of Drew as well. So we included that. The next one is Kings Pass. We've already done some work on Kings Pass. We continue to move up Kings Pass just like we did on Country Club. And this area is from Faith Trail going up to Country Club. There's several identified areas that look very similar to this picture here, moving up through there. And you can actually see the markings where they're talking about getting ready to make their cuts and things like that. In Serenity, we got some pretty bad spalling on some congruent panels. It looks like there were some repairs done at some point, but it looks like they probably didn't go far enough. So we're having to go back and revisit those and make sure we cut out all the bad areas and redo those. Woodmont Circle, same thing, where they should have done larger panel replacements, it looks like, and so they left some structural defects in, and so we have to go back and deal with these further. I'll be happy to answer any questions concerning this.
Very good, thank you. I echo Councilman Dodson, just thank you for your team. I know that this is a new spin up. Hey, we're going to have a proactive approach. We've done essentially a software system in which kind of directs and dictates a little bit of how we address these road maintenance proactive solutions. So thank you for you and your team making this a priority. With this, I would like to point out, before we actually move forward, is Lee Drive and Larry Drive are two roads that have been identified and sent to me on numerous occasions over the last 2 years. So let's just make sure, for the record, that we take a look at that and how they're ranking in the index.
Certainly.
So that's Lee Drive and Larry Drive.
Got it.
But at this time, council, do you have any questions? Councilman Horn?
So, Mr. Creed, thank you. I know so many people around the Buffalo Creek area where I live, like Councilman Dodson said, are so thrilled. With that being said, I have been asked this question.
Okay.
Well, they didn't fix it properly before. What do we have in place, quality control?
Sure.
To make sure that things get fixed properly this time? That we're not just saying, okay, you did the work, great, thanks.
Sure. So what we found everywhere we worked, especially Buffalo Creek, is they poured the concrete just directly over native soil. Now I can't speak to the inspection process. I think those roads were poured before there even was heath in that area. But I couldn't tell you how much compaction was done, or compaction of the subgrade was done. The size of the rebar is smaller than we install now. So what we do now is we do pre-pour inspections where we inspect the rebar. We do subgrade work with crushed concrete rather than just use the native soil. So we compact, we bring in what we call select fill of crushed concrete, compact that, and then we install number 4 rebar, which is actually a little bit larger than what the COG requires. It's on 18-inch centers. We make sure that is epoxied into the adjacent concrete around, so you get that tensile strength between all of it. And then we require a mixed design of 4,000 PSI. So, and we do post inspections as well.
Very good.
So-
What rebar? What number rebar?
4.
4?
Number 4.
Okay. And you're saying what number on these others?
It looks like 3.
3? Okay.
Yes, sir.
And you guys addressed this, just speaking to that point, it was addressed when we started talking about remediation for Terry Lane.
Yes, that was part of, and actually, it turns out we're pretty much, for the most part, doing what the recommendations are of our geotechnical survey. Terry is a little more robust because we're digging out a little bit deeper on that one. But for many of these, there are several inches of select fill being put down and compacted, not the native clay soil. It's crushed concrete before the rebar even goes down or the concrete.
Yep. And a lot of these roads were a long time ago. A lot of different things utilized.
Yeah,
A lot of different kinds of inspections done, whole lot of different staff.
We see all kinds of varying widths. There was actually some on Country Club that fanned out in the corners is only like 2 inches thick. And it is a road. That's thinner than our sidewalks. So, I don't know how much oversight there was, but there wasn't the quality control that we might expect nowadays.
Very good. Very good.
I have a question.
Councilwoman.
Thanks. So I just have a question about, for like locations like Carolina Cherry and James Drive, where we're correcting drainage and addressing older failed repairs. What's the expected lifespan of these fixes? Are we confident, and have we addressed the drainage issues that seem to be contributing to the failed roads?
Excuse me.
Are we confident that these are long-term solutions rather than temporary patches?
Well, I'll say that you can be as confident as you can be. Concrete will crack eventually. It is the most robust solution to any fix we're going to have. You're going to have asphalt, your life is going to be shorter than concrete. But we are doing the things we need to do. Now, Carolina Cherry is not in that particular instance, is a surface drainage issue. The top of it doesn't drain the water away. So every time if you have a cold spell, it freezes. That's an ice rink out there. And what has happened is they tried to laminate that with a Portland over the top, and it's all breaking off. And the kids ride their bikes, and we get complaints from that because it's dangerous, and they fall and they get hurt and all that. And we kept going over there and just sweeping up the old concrete. Well, as we peeled out more of that concrete, it only exacerbated the drainage problem because now there's less concrete and the water's even deeper. So as far as the answer to underneath the drainage problem, because water is the enemy of it's getting under your concrete, the answer to that is multifold. But number one is you get good compaction and try to limit. Now, there's also things the residents can do. If you're really going around edging those curb lines and then watering like the dickens, and letting that water just run up under there, that's killing us. That's washing out our subgrade, and it can cause problems. On some of our real steep roads that we have going up north, Lakeway and Promontory, we have some real washout problems underneath those roads from that very thing. And I don't know how you get past that completely without some buy-in from the homeowners not to do that. But I know everybody likes to have a really nice edge.
But to answer her question, one of the questions that she had was they did a topper. So you're gonna you're gonna cut out those panels, and you're gonna make sure that you got proper fall.
That's right.
So then that way, because originally, essentially, whoever was checking level, the level was not.
Yeah, and I don't know if the subgrade had a failure right there, if it fell down, if there was some kind of issue or an old pond there. I don't know when it was built, but it definitely has the elevation issues over there.
Okay.
So that'll all be corrected.
It will be corrected.
It'll be
Yes,
cut
ma'am.
out and redone.
Redone.
Okay, very good. Any other questions, Council?
Mr. Mayor.
Councilman Dodson?
Again, Brian, congrats on the prolific use of your budget to start to get these repairs going. I think that our streets are soaking this up like a sponge.
They are.
And there's lots more to do. Couple of questions. Now that we're moving into utilizing funds in the 2026 budget, and we've exhausted $900-ish thousand from the 2025 budget they carried over, when do you project we'll reach the end of the fund balance for the repairs and at the rate you're doing? Number one, 1A. 1B is, do we need to identify additional funds while your group is jamming and making progress that you can utilize to repair even more streets in the city of Heath?
Well, so 1A, our expectation right now is probably the council meeting in April. We anticipate that would probably be the end of it at our current pace.
Right.
That could be variable a little bit. We are hitting some big spots right now, and we're starting to get these smaller chunks now. These 40,000. You don't see these 200,000s like that in as much anymore. So, but that is our anticipation about April. We're probably going to be
So
running
then,
out
so
of
then we
money.
got a gap between April and October,
And
right?
I would say that's at the council's discretion and the city manager's discretion. We can certainly spend the money if y'all would like to allot it.
Absolutely. If that is a discussion that council would like to entertain, we were happy to bring that forward and have that conversation.
Mr. Mayor, I'd certainly like to entertain that, to look into our budget, to try to see what funding may be available to let Brian and his tornado crew continue to work on these roads.
Sounds great. I would say
second
let's
it.
address that once we get there, right? First off, you're dealing with construction, you're getting into the rainy season, so I think that we're being pretty optimistic on being able to run that out into
Okay.
April. We also have a lot going on with water and all the things that are needing to be done there, but I would absolutely consider that and happy to look at that in our budget cycle, making sure that if we do have overruns, surplus, reevaluation. Very good. Okay. All right. Any other questions for staff on that item? If there's no further discussion for that item, then we will move into action. So at this time, the chair will open the floor to entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion, Mr. Mayor.
Okay.
Move to approve the proposed quotes totaling $218,576.11.
Very, very good. We have a motion on the floor by Councilman Omby. Do we have a second? Second by Councilman Dodson. The motion moves. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Passes unanimously. Thank you, council. Moving into agenda item 5.b, this is discussion and action regarding project material testing on Hubbard Drive, authorizing the city manager to execute an agreement with Teams Consultants. Mr. Creed.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. This is pretty straightforward. So, recently we've kicked off a project for Hubbard Drive Phase 4. And what we're asking for tonight is approval of a scope for material testing with Teams Consultants for things like, concrete testing, subgrade densities, soil proctors, things like that. I'd be happy to entertain any questions I can on this, but it is a fairly straightforward request for something we've done on all of the other phases. It's the same firm we've always used. We have a good relationship with them. They are responsive and they get what we need out of it. I think the mayor mentioned he saw a couple of our guys digging up some proctors earlier, so that was for teams actually to be able to come in and pull our soil proctors to get ready for our testing.
Yeah, and thank you to your team for doing that. I made mention, I pulled up and told them how proud of them I was to see them out there pulling proctors with shovels themselves. So thank you to your team. Any questions, Councilman Dodson?
Brian, can you remind me of the timeline for completion on Hubbard, what we're tracking right now or what we're estimating?
So the schedule they submitted shows them completing in I believe in late August, but their contract takes them through December.
Right. And does this final plan include any beautification or landscaping, et cetera, on the entrance piece sort of into the city center?
No, sir, not currently. And I know that was a discussion we needed to have.
Okay. I'd like at a future meeting to discuss that, Mr. Mayor, or offline, discuss that and bring that back in front of this council.
Yeah, very good. Mr. Alexander, if you could look into that item.
Absolutely. We have mentioned to the engineers that we want to have a beautification project at this intersection. So they're aware, but we did get focused on getting the project going and under construction. So
I agree.
yes, sir.
We did.
Okay. Thanks, Brian.
Very good.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Councilman Dodson. Any other questions, council? No? All right, very good. If there are no other discussion or questions on that, we will take action. The chair will open the floor to entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion. Motion to approve the proposed agreement with Teams Consultants.
Okay, motion on the floor by Councilman Omby. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
All right, everybody's fighting for it. I like it. Councilwoman Thorogood gets
yeah.
the second. The motion moves. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed passes unanimously. Thank you, council. Moving into agenda item 5.d, discussion and action regarding the 1880 Kitchen Economic Development Incentive Agreement and property sales contract between the Heath Economic Development Corporation and the Municipal Benefits Corporation and Troubadour Food and Beverage LLC, a Texas limited liability company. Mr. Zelinskis.
Yep, as many of you may recall, about a year ago, we were here talking about the 1880 Kitchen. We approved an incentive agreement for them at that time. As they proceeded forward on that incentive agreement, they ran into some issues with the bank related to changes to small business administration loan procedures that didn't make some aspects of that agreement as feasible. You might recall there was things like a upfront land lease, and then they were going to be buying the property some number of years later. So what is actually coming before us right now is perceived to be a net positive to the EDC overall from a cash flow perspective. Still gets this project kicked off and going and meets the requirements of the federal government related to the SBA and their lender. Just kind of reminding all of us, this project is going in back on Chris Cuney Drive, back in the reserve area. And the thought is kind of a farm to market type restaurant with kind of local, scratch kitchen type food, fresh produce, fresh materials, and really as a community gathering place, right? So big, open, kind of modern decor, trying to embody the kind of the feel I believe that many of us would love to see come to Heath. Big outdoor patio area. This embraces the trails that are going on. So the trail that comes back from the Tom Thumb area back onto Chris Cuney. This project would sit right against that particular trail and kind of have this open seating area open to that trail. And so from a summary of the terms, a lot of these items that you're seeing here, these are the exact same items that we had last time around. Payment of a certain amount to bring a gas line to the property edge, abatement of some fees. 1880 will be paying impact fees and will be paying taxes, which actually now move up in this equation. They'll start paying taxes sooner from a property perspective than they did in the original deal. Sales taxes paid from day one of them opening. We've got a little bit of shared cost relating to replotting some of the property back in the reserve. And the rest of the things here kind of have already been done. Probably one of the biggest things is whereas we had a first lien right on the property previously, we now would become a second lien holder behind the bank. From a terms perspective, we no longer are doing the land lease, and instead they would be purchasing the property for $500,000 up front. It's for 1.639 acres. That includes some easements that the city is kind of throwing in that they'll be taking advantage of from a maintenance perspective. And then out of that, I guess kind of as a separate component of it, we're authorizing kind of a two-part loan to them. The first part would be $250,000 at 0% interest. It's tied to hard cost repayment for actual construction milestones. So basically, they can use it to reimburse expenses that they will have paid associated with going vertical on the project. So no planning, no design, no architecture work, but pouring the foundation, putting studs on that property, putting roofs in, anything that actually is a hard vertical cost. The second component of it is kind of a motivating one. So provided that they have the property open by December of 2027, they would be eligible for basically an extra $150,000 of immediate reimbursement to costs that they've already incurred. So again, this is provided that they get the project open by December 31st, 2027, they would be eligible for kind of this second $150,000, bringing the total loan package up to $400,000. The loan repayment would start 2 years after their kind of certificate of occupancy had kind of started. So they get kind of a 2-year run rate, and then it's a straight amortization of that loan at that point forward. There's no prepayment penalties to them. Again, we're second position behind the bank. And also associated with this, for the lifetime of the restaurant, they have a financial and revenue reporting requirement back to the Heath EDC. So again, kind of a summary of the terms, 1.639 acres. It's acred kind of north of, I guess it's north of Hidden Creek. The trail separates between Hidden Creek and where the 1880 restaurant would be. It kind of goes all the way out to the eastern boundary of that reserve property. And again, this is the same purchase price that we had kind of approved previously, but they'll be paying it to us up front rather than previously where they had the option of buying it 5 years from now. And again, reimbursement tied completely to vertical hard costs for invoices that they've already paid. And we have the rights in the contract to go and audit kind of the property and ensure that the stuff that we are reimbursing has actually happened on that property. This is kind of recapping those items that we just mentioned. This kind of shows you where the replot puts this property. So if we're looking at this from a design perspective, this is kind of right where that trail is that comes back in from Tom Thumb. The high school would be over here on this left-hand side. This is kind of the high school over here. The new DPS facility is kind of right down over here. And so it's kind of after you come through that big round circle, you kind of come around the corner. The property design is set back from all of the 300-foot setback lines from the schools and from the churches. And again, we've worked with the fire marshal, we've worked with city planning related to how the access will be worked for this property to ensure that they can not only have the building, but that they can have that nice outdoor patio that kind of flanks the trails. As part of this, we've also put into the replot, there's an easement that is being added all along here, which has also been incorporated into the city park plan already that you've already approved, as a new trail easement kind of coming in from here. So basically from the high school, we'll have kind of a trail that's able to access into the current trail network. As we sit here today, this revised proposal has been approved unanimously by the EDC at our especially called meeting that we had back on December 11th. And we're sitting here today waiting for approval from you. Once we have approval from you, we would still have to go through, with 1880, they would still have to go through all the normal city processes related to building the property that you saw. So their general project expectations are that their loan would close within about 2 months from right now. It's going to take them 4 to 6 months to get through kind of all these city processes, and they would be breaking ground this fall. And with that, I guess I will entertain any particular questions you guys have related to the project or the vision for the project.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Zelenskis. Thank you for your leadership. Thank you to the past chair, Chairman Saunders, for his hard work. This has been worked on tirelessly for 2 years that I've seen, and was teed up even previous to that. So thank you guys for your hard work, and thank you to the patients for this local resident and business owner for putting forth the effort to want to be in Heath this bad and go through all of these processes. And it's a great opportunity for this business owner, but also a great opportunity for the city. It gives us ad valorem tax, sales tax. Gives us more services within the community and even creates some jobs. I've got a 16-year-old that at some point I need to put her to work. So I love seeing it.
The incentive agreement specifically ties to job creation.
That's correct.
There's 70-plus jobs that would be created in the first year related to this project.
Yeah. Well, very good. At this time, do we have any questions for the chairman, Council? Councilwoman Horn?
Yeah, there in the packet, there was an Exhibit C that had a schedule of improvements with infrastructure groundbreaking being done no later than December 31st, 2025. Was that done, or is there a new timeline?
There will be a new timeline on that. So the final version of a couple of those dates will be augmented at the time of signing. Some of those dates have already been updated within those contracts.
Okay, thank you.
Great question. Any other questions, Council?
I have a
Councilwoman
question.
Thurgood?
It's kind of a downer kind of question, because I really don't think this is a potential, but what if for some reason the restaurant fails to continue their operation before the loan is fully repaid?
That's a risk that the EDC would have in this case, right? So we would have the right to secure our loan via lien on the property, and our loan would be secured. If the property sold for more than the outstanding loans on the property, we would have a right to recoup on that. If the property went into foreclosure, then that would be at risk.
Okay.
The overall concept of kind of collecting money for the land of the property and then having our total loan loan plus incentives being less than the land sale is a pretty advantageous structure compared to most EDCs in Texas, and particularly in the North Texas area. Many of our neighbors are writing deals that have absolutely no possibility of being repaid, even if the business is successful for 100 years. So we have neighbors that are neighboring towns and cities that are doing EDC incentives to attract businesses or to get businesses that have no viability for ever being positive, like a positive return to the EDC. So I don't really understand what they're all doing, to be completely candid with you. But that is not what we've done here, right? So we do have risk, right? There's a risk associated with any kind of, business opportunity. What's not particularly factored into all of that is really within about 2 years of them opening, we'll have recouped almost all of the loan and other expenses related to property tax, and sales tax and food and beverage and liquor taxes. So it's a relatively positive business case where while we still, have an outstanding loan for 14 years, the overall city coffers end up being better by about 3 years after the restaurant is opened.
Yeah, I'll just make a comment that I think this is a fantastic contribution to our city, addition to our city, and I have every optimistic idea that it's really going to pay off for us. So.
And we have an experienced restaurateur who's kind of behind this project as well. So this is not this person's first rodeo related to running and operating a restaurant, or even related to opening or building a restaurant. Yeah. They have multiple other restaurants now in the Dallas market.
All right, well, thank you for helping me understand the business side of it. I appreciate it.
Yeah, great question. And I will say, council, we have a very astute EDC board of very entrepreneurial-minded individuals, and they are very risk-adverse. I have sat through numerous meetings of them playing chess with how they share their resources. I'll also tell you, to Chairman's point, EDCs, they'll even get into grant writing, just to get businesses into their city to have advantage of ad valorem and or sales tax revenue. So kudos to your board. Kudos to this council for additionally selecting those key individuals and great leaders within our community to be on that board. But very much a great question. Any other questions? Councilman Dodson?
Mr. Chairman, first of all, terrific job. This is just going to be so additive to our city. As I recall, and to Councilman Thurgood's comment there, the numbers that were put forth with regards to revenue are fairly conservative, given what his other restaurants have done in the area. So I think the probability of success is really high, and that negates at least some of the risk in the been there, done that category. So I think that's very
the
helpful.
overall modeling is at probably what 60%, about 60% of what the business expectation is.
Right. So we're really high probability of success. Secondly, Mr. Chairman, can you give us any insight into other restaurants that you and your team are considering with regards to the reserve and or for the city of Heath?
We do not have a ton of prospects at the current time. So there are some tire kickers, but we have been struggling, to be candid with you, related to the incentive agreements that some of our neighbors are putting together. So to give you kind of an outline of one of the deals that was recently done, something that came into kind of a strip center over in Roy City, got the EDC to back the full build out of the restaurant, got them to back a 10-year lease on the lease. So basically the EDC took the 10-year liability on the lease agreement. The EDC is picking up the first 2 years of expenses, and provided that restaurant operates for the first 2 years, they're giving them a couple acres of land and $1 million incentive to go build another physical structure.
Wow.
None of that has repayment associated with it.
Okay,
Gotcha.
very good.
Thanks,
Any
Michael.
other questions?
No, sir. Thanks, Michael.
No other questions at this time? Thank you, Chairman. If there are no other discussion or questions for this item, the chair will open the floor to entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion. Move to approve the agreements related to the 1880 kitchen.
Very good. We have a motion on the floor stated by Councilman Omi. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second by Councilman Dodson. We're fighting for these. I like it. Very good. The motion moves. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Passes unanimously. Thank you, council.
Thank you all. Thanks, council.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Chairman.
Michael.
Thanks for your hard work.
Great job.
Continue to let your board know how much we appreciate them and all that they're doing. Moving into agenda item 5.e, this is discussion and action on approval for Cloud Ingenuity to purchase and install door access controls and security cameras for the new Public Works building. Danny?
Thank you, Mayor and Council. So this is basically just to go over what we're proposing for the new Public Works building regarding the door access controls and the security cameras around the building. You're going to hear two things from me, Cloud Ingenuity and Verkada. Cloud Ingenuity is the actual installer and the ones that procure the equipment. Verkada is the actual equipment vendor that we'll be using throughout the building. So just to give you a brief overview of where we're at right now. Brian, myself, and Cloud Ingenuity met together. We went over the site plans and created a optimal door security and video coverage solution for the site. I think it's going to be a really, really good solution. It's going to cover all the areas that we need to cover, all the doors that we need to have access to, and it's going to be a very clean install. Cloud Ingenuity actually came out back in October. They did an on-site walkthrough for where we were at the time. They were very optimistic that everything that we covered in the initial Zoom meeting was going to be absolutely possible, and that it was going to be a good setup. The scope of work includes Verkada cameras, door access controllers, which are the card and badge readers, and then the environmental sensor for the server room, which measures the humidity and temperature within it. Then obviously this is going to support both the interior and exterior monitoring of the facility. And then total project cost is going to be $104,696.32, which is why I'm here before you tonight. Just to give you an idea of what we're going to be installing, as you've seen these badge readers throughout the building, this is the same thing that we're going to be putting out there at Public Works. This is the door controller unit that's going to be communicating with these to allow access, and then dome cameras that are going to be placed around the building for the security, both inside and outside, and then the environmental sensor that I mentioned previously that's going to be in the server room just to verify that everything's running correctly, that nothing's overheating or getting too hot or humid. This is an overview of what we decided for the building. As you can see, the entrance is on this side over here, and everything's kind of laid out. We've got various door controllers for the different access points in the building. Anything that's not going to have a key lock on it will have a door controller. We've got cameras both on the inside and outside, and then we're also going to have the door access controllers and the environmental sensor here in the server room. This low-quality picture, I apologize, is the best I could get. This is going to give you an idea of the camera coverage for the building. As you can see, the entrance is right here. All these little arrows are the doors that are actually going to be access controlled. It's kind of hard to see, but all of these field of views of the cameras cover every single point of the building that are going to have a door access. So we'll make sure we're able to catch anybody who's walking in or outside the building. We also have full coverage on all the inside public and private hallways here. The only thing, obviously, will be like the break rooms, the offices. We're not going to have cameras or anything in there. And then finally, we're going to have a camera, a very sharp PTZ camera that's going to be pointed directly at the existing pole barn. Make sure we cover all that equipment. So why Cloud Engineering Verkada? Well, we currently have Cloud Engineering Verkada. Verkada is what we use throughout the building right now, and you know it's a very robust system. It's cloud-based, so we can access it anywhere. I've had times where people have called me, you know, after business hours saying, "Hey, I need a door opened real quick," and I can literally do it from my phone. Or if we have something that for whatever reason isn't locked, I can lock it real quick. And we can view the security cameras from any location. I've actually been able to see when, you know, we've had storms roll through, and I can, you know, keep an eye on and make sure that, you know, we don't have any damage in the building or anything like that. It's a unified system across the city facility, simplifies the management support. So basically, if, you know, as we move forward with these new buildings, you know, even DPS, as we expand, we can continually expand this system, and it's all manageable from the exact same dashboard. We don't have to run any new hardware. It all talks to each other, and so it's very simple to use, and it's very powerful to where I can, you know, we can provide access to multiple people at various facilities all at one time, and so it's very convenient. Verkada has been a very reliable solution. I'm going to knock on wood here. We've had one hardware issue since I've been here and since it's been installed, and whenever I reached out to Cloud Ingenuity, they had a 48-hour turnaround time. It was a door access controller that had failed. They had ordered it the same day, came in the next day, replaced it, and we were back online. So been very pleased with their support. And then finally, Cloud Ingenuity is a DRR vendor, which means that they're part of the cooperative group for IT services, which means that DRR has already done all of the bidding for us. We don't have to go in and get additional bids for them. They're part of that program, and so we can work with them directly as we already have moving forward. And it's a simple process of just working with them and, moving forward. So, that's pretty much what I have for you. I highly recommend that we stick with Verkada. It's going to be, and Cloud Engineering, I think, even moving forward into the DPS buildings, it's going to be a really good solution for the city, especially now that, since we're already on it, and it's going to be a very simple platform to manage. And anyway, here for any questions you might have.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you, Danny, for your hard work on this. Thank you, Mr. Creed. I know we're all looking forward to seeing this Public Works building getting completed soon. I will also say too, I'm very cognizant of the fact that you are coming into this system, adapting to the current systems, enjoying the ecosystem, and then staying in the ecosystem. I've seen all too often, especially in software and software management solutions, to where you have a director that comes in and they're very familiar with secondary solutions, and then they want to start changing the ecosystem. So very much cognizant of what you're doing there. Thank you. Council, are there any questions for staff?
One question, Mr. Mayor.
Councilman Dodson?
Danny, is this a budgeted or an unbudgeted item?
As far as I'm aware, this is an unbudgeted item for this, so it's going to be additional to the current CIP.
Just to be clear, this will be funded through the 2023 bond fund.
Correct.
So there are resources available in that bond fund to pay for this.
Correct.
Got it. Thanks, Steve. I appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you for
I
the
was about
clarification
to-
on that.
Let's get in there. Good job. Any further questions? Very well.
Can I
Councilwoman
just
Horn?
ask, I'm just very curious, why do you need 7 badge readers in that one section? It seems like so many. I'm just curious about it.
So we'll have one for the entrance there, and then, since these 2 bays are separate, at one point they can close them off, so we need 2 doors, on each side for those, and then one for the back. It's basically just to allow multiple, places for entry and exit. And then we're also going to have, like, for the server room and things like that, we want to make sure that there's limited access. We want to cut that off. And so, and there's, I believe in the skater room as well, we're going to have another one. So even in just that one little area, like, especially like right in here, because this is going to be a public-facing lobby. So you'll have one here just to lock it down so that, after hours, people aren't able to get in. We have one here that gets into this private area, this one here that gets into this private area, and then we have another 2, one for the SCADA and then one for the server room. So right there, you've got 4, and then for the exterior doors as well, so.
Yeah, great question. I will say, though, this controls your water system.
Yeah.
Now, we do have redundancies, and so we do have secondary backups in other locations, but yes, this is your primary source, and we're upgrading.
It's locked down like Fort Knox.
There's going to be a lot of expensive and proprietary equipment in there that we want to make sure is safe and does not walk off, so.
Very good. All right, any further questions? All right, if there's no other discussion on this item, at this time, we'll take action. The chair will open the floor to entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion, Mr. Mayor.
Man, you're on a roll tonight.
Move to approve the purchase and installation of the Verkada door access control system and security cameras for the Public Works facility.
All right, very well. Motion on the floor is stated. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a second by Councilman Myers. Motion moves. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Passes unanimously. Thank you, council. Moving into agenda item 5.f, this is discussion and action on approving the reimbursement for oversized water line improvements in accordance with the Bristol Valley Phase 1 Developer Agreement. Mr. Ayers?
Thank you, Mayor and Council. This item is in connection to the Bristol Valley Phase 1 water line oversizing that included in the developer agreement an increase from a 12-inch water line to an 18-inch that feeds into the development. This developer agreement was approved September 24, 2024, and they installed roughly 6,927 linear feet of 18-inch water line that feeds into the development. They're seeking reimbursement of the differential between the 18-inch and the 12-inch water line is $387,271.01. Roughly, that was $55 per linear feet, $55 to $56 per linear feet. This will be covered by water impact fees, and this will be covered in a future budget amendment in one of the upcoming city council meetings. And our recommendation tonight is the approval of the reimbursement to Bristol Valley for those expenses related to that water line improvement. And I'm open to any questions if you have them.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Ayers. At this time, council, do you have questions for staff? No questions? No questions when the city says, hey, we don't want 12, we want 18, and that's what we need
Future
for
capacity.
future capacity.
Future
And then the
capacity.
developer goes, you want what? Thank you to Mr. For Joyce Properties and for working so well with the city. Okay.
The development doesn't look anything like that picture.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ryan.
Mr. Joyce, I thought that right when it popped up, and I thought, well, good thing my term's coming to an end. All right, very good. If there's no further questions, then the chair will open the floor to entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the reimbursement to TM Bristol Valley LLC in the amount of $387,271.01 for the oversizing of water line improvements from 12-inch to 18-inch for the Bristol Valley Phase 1 development funded from water impact fees, and authorize the city manager to take any action necessary to effectively the reimbursement.
Very good. We have a motion on the floor as stated so eloquently. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a second by Councilwoman Horn. The motion moves. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Passes unanimously. Thank you, council. 5.G, we are going to be pulling this item for a future meeting. There needs to be some additional time for legal review on this item. There's no issues with the item. We just need additional time. So that item will be seen on a later agenda item. So at this time, we'll move into agenda item number 6. This is our executive session in accordance with the Texas Government Code, Chapter 551, Subchapter D. The City Council will recess into executive session. This is a closed meeting to discuss the following. 6.A, Section 551.074, deliberation regarding the appointment, evaluation, reassignment, duties, discipline, or dismissal of a public officer or employee regarding appointments and reappointments to the Planning and Zoning Commission, HMBC, HEDC, Architectural Review Board, Take Area Appeal Panel, and PATH Fundraising Committee, which lists all of them. So we are now in executive session at 7:37.
Thanks again, Mr. Gilbert. Thanks so much. Hey, safe travel.
Yeah, be your friend. Help me know how to get on that list.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
So?
They haven't even acted on